This is a review of the Asus VA27EHE 1080p 75Hz monitor. It's supposed to be an eye care monitor that has adapted sync, HDMI ports, and it's frameless, as you can see right here. And it's very compact. IPS panel, 75Hz. And I've been using it for about 6 months, and it's been really good for me. It's my secondary monitor that I use. I use this mostly for looking at documents, looking at photos, and maybe watching some media. And so far, in terms of eye strain, I haven't noticed anything. Now, this is my background wallpaper, and this is an anime wallpaper. And you can see the colors are very vibrant. I don't mess with any of the settings. I just leave it as is. And if you look at my advanced display settings on my computer, this is display number 2, Asus VA27EHE. It is running at 920 times 1080p, 60 hertz. Now I can change this to 75 hertz if I wanted to, but there's no reason because I use this mostly for documents and photos and just watching some videos. If I'm gaming or something, I'm using my other monitor, which is a 1440p monitor. But in this case, this monitor does do the job when it comes to just looking at certain medias and colors. So I'm Googling some vibrant color pictures just to show you the color contrast and the color accuracy of this monitor. And let's look at some of these examples. Very nice and vibrant colors, not washed out. This is a very cool monitor. It's very lightweight. The borders are very thin, and it has a couple plugs in the back. It has HDMI, display port. It does not have a speaker though, just something to keep in mind. This has no sound output besides HDMI. So if you want sound, this may not be the monitor for you. But in terms of what it's supposed to do when it comes to like eye care or eye strain or just color accuracy, it does the job. And I really like using this just for looking at photos and reading documents. I had this mounted on a monitor arm and no problem so far. This is a really good monitor for that purpose. Now it can do gaming because it's an IPS monitor with 75 hertz, up to 75 hertz. If you want 1080p gaming, this might be the monitor to look at too, or you want to use this as a dual purpose monitor, this can do that as well. The Scepter monitor has been really good for me to use for work. One, it can go up to 75 hertz, which is really good. So if you want to lock into a higher frame rate for whatever work you're trying to do, it could be video, it could be gaming, it could be editing, whatever. That's awesome. It's very lightweight. The actual monitor is very light. It's thin bezels. It's not that sturdy, but it's a great budget option if you want high refresh rate and you want good colors, as you can see right here. These photos look pretty gorgeous, very detailed. As I said, thin bezels. It's really wobbly on the stand, but for a budget work monitor, it gets the job done, and I love it. This is a quick review of the Gigabyte M27Q 1440p monitor that I've got right here. I've used this for about 3 years now, and after 3 years, it's been a very solid monitor for me when it comes to gaming, productivity, video editing. Pretty much does everything you need to, and it's a good, I would say, a good budget slash mid-level monitor for those purposes. Now I have this connected as a dual monitor setup. I have an Asus monitor right here, but the video is not about that. This monitor has a lot of things going on for it. It has pretty much a high frame rate. It can go up to 170 frames or 170 hertz. And right now it's at 250, 2560 by 1440p setting, so 2K. And it does everything, and it does that pretty well. If you want to look at color accuracy and how good the colors are, this is pretty much stock settings. I don't really mess with the settings too much. This is what you expect for color if you want to do editing and stuff, and what you would like to see if it's washed out or not. In terms of gaming, this does go up to, again, 170 hertz, and I usually game at 120 hertz for most of my games, and I run it at 1440p. No issues. This does have FreeSync. I do not have that. I have NVIDIA. So there's a button on the back that you can use to toggle for settings. This has KVM, which is keyboard mouse. So I have my keyboard and mouse connected to this monitor, and I use it very fine, no issues. So that's one feature I really love about this monitor, that you can do that. So this uses FreeSync for AMD. Unfortunately, I have G-Sync with NVIDIA. That's my graphics card, so I don't have that. There's so many settings you can use to mess with all the features, but I really don't use all of them. All I care about is the 1440p, the refresh rate, and it does its job. Now, the one con I would have to say I have with this monitor is this line right here on this monitor. I've had this pretty much ever since year one. So and when it comes to frame rate and refresh rate, the higher I change it up, the more likely more lines will show. I'm not sure if that's because of a plug, a port, and I can't like diagnose it completely in terms of I haven't done the full diagnostics to get rid of this. So in video games, if I up the frame rate too high, more lines will show up. So this is something that's a concern. I'm not sure if that's something with the panel itself or the ports. So here I have Uncharted 4 on PC, and it looks gorgeous in terms of just the fidelity. You can see right here on Street Fighter 6, I have on PC running at 120 frames. It does this pretty well, and it's a very solid monitor for 1440p mid-range gaming. It's not the best 1440. It's not the best 1440p monitor, but it does go up to 170 hertz. And there are some cons I have right now with this monitor with the line that I'm talking about with this scan line or whatever this line is on the monitor that is a con. And it's not the best looking monitor, but it gets the job done.